Have you ever wondered what life would look like if humans weren't around? Who would run things? Well, believe it or not, ants might be strong contenders for the title of Earth's rulers. I know, it sounds a bit wild, but just hear me out. Ants are incredibly organized, hardworking, and resilient little creatures that have adapted to almost every environment on Earth. In this video, we'll dive into 10 fascinating facts about ants that just might change the way you see these tiny bugs forever. So, let's get started and discover why ants could just be the most impressive little powerhouses in the natural world. Did you know that an ant can lift 10 to 50 times its own body weight? Imagine if you could casually pick up a car just because it was in the way. Ants can carry food, building materials, and even fellow ants without breaking a sweat, thanks to their special muscle structure, which makes them super strong and resilient. So next time you see an ant carrying a crumb bigger than its own body. Ants don't just work hard, they live in highly organized society, who does all the egg laying, workers who forage for food and take care of the young, and soldiers who defend the nest. It's a little insect kingdom where everyone has a role, and all for the greater good of the colony. You won't find anyone slacking off here. Ants don't need cell phones or social media to communicate, they've got pheromones. These are chemicals that ants use to leave invisible scent trails. When an ant finds food, it lays down a trail of pheromones on the way back to the colony, creating a scented path that other ants follow. They also use pheromones to signal danger or to call for backup. It's like an invisible ant text message, guiding the colony without a single sound. In the world of ants, the queen lives a life of luxury. She can live up to 30 years, which is incredible considering that worker ants live just a few weeks or months. She spends her days laying eggs, ensuring the survival of the colony. This is why ants guard her fiercely. Without the queen, the colony would be doomed. Being royalty definitely has its perks. Ants are some of the most adaptable creatures on Earth. From rainforests to deserts, they've figured out how to survive in almost every environment, except Antarctica. Each species has evolved different strategies to handle its unique environment, whether it's extreme heat, cold, or moisture. So, wherever you go, there's a good chance you'll be sharing the ground with ants. Some ants don't just gather food, they grow it. Take leafcutter ants, for instance. They cut leaves, bring them back to the nest, and use the leaves as fertilizer to grow a special type of fungus that they eat. It's like their own mini-farm, and they've got the farming technique down to a science. These tiny farmers know exactly how to keep their fungus crop thriving. When floods come, ants don't just run for higher ground. Instead, they link up, holding onto each other to form a living raft that floats on the water, keeping everyone safe. This amazing survival tactic shows how powerful teamwork can be. These little survivors will cling together for hours or even days until they find a dry place. Now that's commitment. Ants don't just farm fungus, they also herd aphids. Yes, just like we have cows, ants have aphids. They protect these tiny insects from predators so the aphids can feed on plant sap. In return, the aphids produce a sugary liquid called honeydew that ants love. It's a mutually beneficial setup and a smart business model if you ask me. Ants know how to work together and learn from each other. If one ant figures out a good way to get over an obstacle, others will follow and improve the technique. They work as a team to solve complex problems, showing that ants are excellent learners. Together, they accomplish tasks that would be impossible alone, teaching us a valuable lesson about the power of collaboration. Don't be fooled by their size. Ants can be fierce fighters. Some species are experts in strategy when it comes to defending their territory or competing for resources. They'll form formations, use numbers to overwhelm enemies, and some even have natural weapons like poison or spikes. These little warriors don't back down, showing that courage isn't about size, it's about spirit. And they're the smallest yet mightiest creatures.